Evening all, welcome to Keen Dust. So, well, Keen Dust, oh man, I've had a day. Let me show you something that was really funny. We found this out basically by John parked his tank on the edge of a spawn pad, and there's a dead merc coming out of it. It's like a spawn generator for NPCs or something. Give it a try, it's pretty funny. I think, actually, that could be our next Arse Labs right there. But if you park a tank on a spawn pad, when people spawn on it, they immediately get squished. So check it out. I mean, it may work, it may not. It looked quite funny, so I'm definitely going to give that a go. Anyway, so how's things? Well, Dust, oh man, things are coming along. Certainly, I think at the moment, the speculation is rife over 1.8. And I kind of get that that's where most people are, I guess, aiming their interest. And I think there's a few things that I think are kind of interesting in the game at the moment, but there's one or two things that I think are really becoming a bit of a chore. And I'd like to talk to you today through my voice to your ears about them right now. And to be honest, it's something that I'm sure you're all very aware of, is the red line. Let's talk about the red line. Holy shit, did you see that guy fly? Oh my god, I love the flare. Anyway, buffer flare. Anyway, so the red line I think is causing more issues than I think it ever has had before. Let's be clear, the red line has always been in this game, way back. Gosh, we're talking probably, I don't know, maybe even 6 months before Uprising came out. The red line used to begin as you dropped in, so your MCC drop point, that little bit where you jump out the ship, when you land, that's where the red line kind of started to begin. So this kind of created a bit of a situation where people like me, massive douche lords, maybe named CEO Pyrex and Lord Porter, used to drive LOVs up to the underneath the enemy MCC and just sit there firing missiles as people dropped. Hilarious, funny, annoying. So that's why the red line, as well as many other things, the red line was seen as a bit, let's say, broken even back then. So what they then created was a red line that was a little bit more forward. But then, weirdly enough, what happened after that is when Uprising came and Domination came and all of these kind of new map modes, people realized it was very difficult to call equipment in safely because people would start shooting you, even within what was effectively your kind of, ready zone, your muster zone. And all of a sudden, people were able to kill people. So the red line was pushed in Uprising all the way forward. And all of a sudden, you now have a situation where probably a third of the map is off limits to you. Now, let's discuss this from a number of different angles. Let's discuss this from a game player's point of view, B, a lore point of view, and maybe C, from a kind of Dick Lord point of view. So I've already forgotten what the first one was. Well, the first one was a game maker's point of view. Yes, you need somewhere to muster. Yes, you need to have somewhere where you can safely try and push back a red line if you are being red line. So the purpose of the red line makes perfect sense. In PlanetSide 2, I always use that as a good reference, they just have an impenetrable shield that once you've you can't shoot in, you can't shoot out. And once you leave that impenetrable shield, then it's all love and all's fair in love and war, which I think is probably the right way to do it. And really, you kind of need the red line from that perspective, because you do need something that just, I would say, gives you the ability to maybe kind of gather your forces and begin to fight back. So I totally agree the red line is very much needed. Let's look at it from a lore point of view. In terms of this lore, so that red line you just saw there, it's a bit stupid, isn't it? There shouldn't really be any red line at all. I know in Battlefield 4 they kind of have this thing that says, "Where are you going, Merc? Come back," and all that kind of thing, like you're deserting. Why not just put that in? That just makes more sense. But it's pretty far out. You'd have to be going some to actually leave the red line as infantry. Certainly as fighters, you've always got that problem, but I think that was kind of right, and I think the way that Dust has done it is wrong by having just these kind of fabled red zones that, literally it's like, the beginning of Running Man when, what is it? I can't remember what's the name of the guy. What was Arnold Schwarzenegger's name in that? It was like Blaine McPlukin or something stupid anyway. He had that neck collar on him that as soon as he went over the red line, it kind of started a countdown. And then all of a sudden, if you stayed in the red line too long, the neck bolt exploded and your head popped off. Now, as a young lad consuming that movie was hilarious because it was like, oh my god, you see his head just went flying, and that was literally what we used to watch those films for. You don't get them anymore, do you? They're all a bit kind of. They're all like, all action films are written by women now. I kind of have this theory in my brain that all action movies are written by a focus group who do concern, so there's always got to be, a representational, group of henchmen who all get killed, etc. So, and I think, Dust is kind of in that same ballpark, really, where unfortunately, it's not very realistic, is it? It's all a bit poo. I would rather there was no red line, but give the enemy the ability to spawn in, and call in vehicles in complete safety. Make it so you can't even shoot them down. While it's funny to do that, it's pretty rare. And I think, to be honest, I'd quite happily give up that little, that once in a month thing where you shoot a tank down as it's being called in, rather than just to let the enemy muster and come back at us. Because I tell you what, red lines at the moment are boring as balls. And I would say that probably 90% of the maps we play are always red lines, either way or the other. And I think that's getting a bit dull, to be honest. So I think having just this ability to, remove the red line, but just give everybody a place, literally just make it so the MCC has a shield that extends down onto the ground. And as long as you're not stupid, you can call in, you can muster, you can build within that little protective shield without any risk at all. And make it, maybe even make it dynamic. So, for example, as the MCC shield goes down, then that shield also goes down as well, which creates a bit more of a panicked situation. But maybe make it so that the MCC guns can fire down as well, random shots into the ground. I don't know, just do something, because I think at the moment the reality is the red line is just a bit trying, isn't it? And it's not realistic, it's not terribly fun, and so on. Now let's look at it from our third point of view, which is the point of view of, quote, a dick lord, which I happen to have a PhD within. The red line is just broken, and I'm kind of surprised it's lasted this long, because it's so easy just to redline somebody and then, kill, completely disable their ability to ever come back at you. So as they call in vehicles, shoot it down, whatever. But it's not so much that. It's more the case that the Dick Lord's point of view is, I'm going to call in a railgun tank that's a militia railgun tank, 90k. 90k is max, no more than that. And I'm going to drive it all the way to the back of the map, and I can shoot anything, anywhere, every point, every time. That sucks. That is just broken. How on earth anybody can think that is a good idea? And if you do this, then just literally go and just go and die in a fire, because that is the worst tactic in this game ever. To come into a match, a PvP match, and just think that you can sit way back in the red line with a militia damage mod assisted tank and just kill things. Fuck you, seriously. Just leave the game. We don't want you here. I make myself very popular by saying these things, but seriously, fuck you. We do not want that kind of player in this game, because that's just one step away from 32 people sat on the red line sniping and railgunning each other from a distance. And I'm not being funny, but the game will die within months if that's pretty much the prevalent situation at hand. So really do not do this. I think if you're one of these players, like most players, you like the game, but you like winning as well, because hey, everyone likes winning, don't you? That feeling you get when you kind of kill someone with a railgun from like 600 meters, or you see a dropship and you shoot it down. It's like, haha, dude, I just fucked you up. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel bad for feeling that. It's it's self-gratification. It's kind of gaming masturbation, effectively. So don't feel there's anything wrong with that, but don't do it too much, or you might go blind. And there we go. Oh, I said I wouldn't troll, but hey, let's just treat that as an embargo. So red lines are not a great thing. I know you need them. I know there's a problem with them. I mean, every time you see a Thales user in the red line, I cry a little bit more inside, and I just... it's funny, whenever I go a match where there's like 4 railgun tanks on the edge, I actually stop playing. I actually just switch off and just think, fuck this game, because it's like, I don't know. I know that there's a reason why people do that, but come on, bro, that's just terrible. And I think, Thales and sniping, things like that, I can understand there's a role for sniping, but that's just taking it a bit too far. I think if you just, if you're literally coming into the game to say, I'm going to play this game where no way can I be killed or got at all, then literally, you're just worse than Hitler. And I think you should not do that. Anyway, there we go. Upbeat note. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.